All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. All right, what I want to get into, this morning, is dealing with healthy suffering, healthy suffering. And, just meditating on some things in the spirit, because we live in a culture, where, men, have been made, to chase comforts, like a woman, you know, like that you have the metrosexual society, where men, are pampered, and groomed, more than women, okay? And this is why you have such a culture, of weak men, because this is what, first world convenience breeds, okay? Especially under the vibration of the matriarch, and this is why as we come into this truth as men, the Lord, start to chastise us and deal with us in the way that a father would deal with his son, okay? When he expects his son, to, all right, have certain things instilled in them, well, that would come through chastening, through chastisement, okay? So there's a healthy suffering, that we must go through, within this ministry, man. Okay? Because, like I say, this society, is built, on comfort. Everyone, all right, is always chasing some type of comfort, whether through foods, whether through drugs, whether through sex, whether, it's through, sleep, laying up, okay? There's always a quest, for comfort in this society, but there's benefits, to particular sufferings, man. Because sufferings, okay, instill particular qualities, within our character, man, and that's something that we're learning, as we continue to grow and evolve in this truth, okay? And I want to get this precept here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 3. It says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. I want to read it in the NLT. This is Sirach 7:3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. Okay? And that's why I want to emphasize on that refining influence. Now, just for balance, okay, of course, the scriptures don't promote us, to be sorrowful, all right, or, angry 24/7, but this truth has a bitterness to it, man. There's certain vexations that the Lord brings us through, okay, to have that refining influence, not to destroy us or push us into depression or anxiety or, a state of continual anger, okay? But the Lord puts us in sufferings, and then he'll take us out, let us enjoy, a comfort for a moment, and then he'll dip us right back in that fire, man, okay? Until he gets that desired result, okay? Because you go here, We have to understand the process that we're going through, man. This is a continual process until the time that Yahweh Shai comes back, you know? And especially for us in this society, okay? Which I get that. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 30. All right, verse 1. Sirach 30:1, it says, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. You see? So the Lord causes us often to feel the rod, the chastening, so he will have joy of us in the end. You know? And when you look at it, you know, as a nation, you know, how we suffered in this captivity, you know, going back to the beginning of our captivity, even go back to 70 AD, you know, like the Lord, all right, he's been dealing with us, you know, for ages, man. Okay? And now we're in the time where you have the elect that's going to be perfected. Okay? So you had that form of chastening when the Lord just allowed Esau, all right, he just turned this devil loose on us, man. Okay? And now you have a chastening now to where it's a thing of the mind, because as we find out with the truth, we find out about the truth, you know, as the scriptures say, it's like a thing of honey. You know, it's sweet. You know, the truth is sweet. But as we mature in the faith, then there's a bitterness, you know, that comes through the vexation, okay, of the reality that we still have to exist in, even though we know the truth. That's why scriptures say, he that increases in wisdom, increases in sorrow. Okay, and that's a form, all right, of the Lord vexing us, okay, and putting us in the position of sorrow to have a refining influence on us, man. Because it's all about the end game, what we're becoming. You know, like we did the live stream yesterday, you know, becoming us. And as we're becoming us, you know, the Lord, you know, is constantly, you know, tweaking, all right, our character, man. He's removing, you know, character flaws, and he adding certain character qualities to who we are, all right, as an individual, okay, because he wants each individual of the elect, okay, to be the best version of themselves in righteousness, man. Okay, so there's sufferings that have to happen, okay, to get us to the next level. You know, like as we go through a suffering, the whole purpose of the suffering is to level up somewhere, man. You know, and you have, you know, different brothers, different sisters got different things that the Lord is trying to level them up in, you know. So you're going to have different sufferings, but the ultimate goal of the suffering is the level up. Okay? That's why I say if we endure chastening, okay, we get the reward of the level up. Okay? And that's why patience is vital, you know, because a lot of people lose patience within their suffering, man. You know, they try to, you know, they get impulsive. You know, a lot of our people get impulsive, all right, when it comes to suffering, you know, and they miss out on the reward, you know. And the only way to get to the reward is to go straight through it. You can't go around the suffering. You can't go under it, okay? You can't just sit there and just hope that it just disappears. Nah, you know, like to get past the suffering, you know, you got to go through it. You got to make the adjustments. You got to, you know, you really got to embrace it, you know. That's a good word. Like, we really got to embrace, you know, the suffering, man. You know, and that's how, you know, the Lord deals and builds through us embracing, you know, the suffering, man. You know, it's easier said than done. You know. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. You know, but it's a thing, like I say, of healthy suffering, man. You know, because, you know, we're vexed, you know, and we're in certain situations that we wish, you know, the Lord, you know, would change, okay? But the Lord has us, as the scriptures say, matter of fact, Let me get that real quick. I think that's the book of James. I think that's the book of James. It's the book of James, chapter 1. All right, let's get that. It's the book of James. All right, chapter 1, verse 3. It says, verse 2. All right, it's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. And see, that's another thing, we learn to, like I say, embrace the suffering, embrace the situations that we find ourselves in, because, the Lord is really conditioning us to trust him as well. Just as the Lord is conditioning us to, he's removing character flaws from us. He's purging, unwanted qualities in us, through suffering. He's also conditioning us to have a reaction to trust him, to have that initial reaction to trust him, all right, in the circumstances, when things hit, when things happen, instead of, as the scriptures say, making haste, being impulsive, the Lord is conditioning us to where we trust him. So now, as the scriptures say, James 1:12, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, which is diverse trials, diverse, going into, different variety. So, you can wake up on Monday, okay, and find out that, they cutting hours at the job, okay. You got all these, things that need to be taken care of, and they cut hours, okay. Then you can wake up Thursday, okay, your transmission go out. So it's like, damn, these diverse temptations, and you gotta learn to take these things in joy. Like you gotta throw them prayers up, and then just do what you can on your part, and let the Lord take care of what you can't handle, or what we can't handle. And the Lord constantly does that and puts us in these tight situations, and it's conditioning us to trust. You see, you have people, that ask, what can we do to prepare for Jacob's trouble? Well, there's nothing carnally that we can do. And what the Lord is doing, he's preparing us to have a reaction of trusting him. Because that's the only thing that we can do in Jacob's trouble, is trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. There's no carnal way to prepare for all the calamities that's going to be happening at the same time. Okay, I don't care if you've been prepping for 50 years and you think you got every scenario mapped out. Okay, there's no carnal way to prep for what's, all right, all the things that the Lord is going to bring to the earth at the same time. Okay, so the only thing that can be done, all right, for the hopeful elect of Israel is the Lord take us through these sufferings that's refining our character, okay, and it's conditioning us to trust. All right, that's the only thing that can be done. That's the only way to prep. Okay, so keep reading. Said James 1:3. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and wanting nothing. Okay, so when we read this in the NLT, James 1:3, it said, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So we got to be tested to get that growth. It's like you working out. If you, all right, because every time you work out, it's like you putting yourself through a test. And every time you do that, there's a chance for, your endurance to grow, your muscles to grow. Every time you go run, okay, you're putting your endurance to the test, and that's a chance for your endurance to grow. So as we find ourselves in all these trials, you know, these different sufferings that we go through. Well, that's a chance for our faith to grow. So that's why we have to look at trials as opportunities for faith boosters, okay? Opportunities for building more trust in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, and not to pout about them and cry about them, you know? Start to count them in joy. Like, that's the only way to really grow trust is for the Lord to put us in situations and get us out of them, you know? And that's the Lord putting us in that fire and getting us out that fire. And it's a continual, repetitive process, you know, that has that refining influence on us. So when it's time for Jacob's trouble, we're going to be built a certain way, and plus the Lord is going to put that extraordinary spirit on us, man. But we're working towards that now, you know? So when you read in verse 4 again, it says, so let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Okay? Because remember, we're on the road to perfection. That's one of the things you have to remember. We're being perfected. Okay? These spirits in these imperfect bodies are being perfected. And that's why when Yahweh Shai comes, we're going to shed these imperfect bodies. All right? And he's going to complete the process of our spirits being perfected and give us those new perfected bodies, man. Okay? So we have to understand this is a process. You brothers, even you sisters, man, I know brothers, be wanting a woman. All right? You sisters, you want husbands. Okay? Well, you got to complete that phase of, because that's it's a suffering. That can be a suffering. That can be something that you can, especially for a woman, that believes. I can imagine, that can be an everyday, all day thought of getting a husband. Okay, but guess what? You have, all right, to be perfected to a certain point to be compatible with a man. And as a man, that doesn't have a woman, all right, hey, we have to be, as a man, you have to be perfected to a certain level. You have to be, refined. I ain't gonna say perfected. You have to be refined to a certain level to be able to deal with that situation and still maintain, your lot in the faith. So the Lord, all right, you gotta let patience, okay, have a perfect work. Because within our patience, because patience goes into suffering difficulties until you get the desired outcome. So that patience that we have to have in whatever situation we in, all right, we have to endure the difficulties until we get the desired outcome. So the current circumstances that we're in is what we have to endure until we get the desired outcome. And it's different from from believer to believer, from brother to brother to sister. It's a different, all right, test. It's a different endurance. It's a different desire. But the one common thing is that suffering is all right, a part of that of that desire. Suffering comes before the desire. I want to get this because even some people that's around us, it kind of seem like we're bipolar. Just speaking of the men, especially of the men, brothers, that's out here, teaching and still got their day-to-day responsibilities. Sometimes it just seem like that brother, you know he one way this day, next day he another way. Well, you gotta understand, like, as men, all right, as the sons, the Lord dealing with his men, like the scriptures say, whom the Lord chastened, he dealing with his sons. So there'll be certain times where okay, where You know, your husband, okay, he might not be smiling, okay, and it ain't the thing that, you know, something is wrong, okay, and the Lord just dealing. You know, he's in that refinery. He's being refined, okay, because this society, like I said, they, you know, they want they want men to be brolic, but then they want men to be some, you know, a cuddle bear. You know, see, this society wants men to be brolic to the convenience of this society. Okay, like the coming woman wants men to just come to her aid, you know, at any given time and be brolic. But then on the other end, they expect men to just be these cuddle bears, man. And you see that a lot with that movie Aquaman, you know, Aquaman 2. And what you have on there is you have the guy that plays Aquaman. I can't think of his name. I think Jason Momoa, if I'm saying it right. But yeah, this big brolic, you know, this big brolic guy. All right, and here it is. He's the king of Atlantis, okay, which is like the underwater world. And you know they have his character on there. Okay, he's, you know, pretty much falling asleep in council. You know, he's having council. He's on the throne falling asleep. Okay, you know, he's goofy as hell. You know, making all these corny jokes. He's not serious about anything. Okay, but then they have him leaving Atlantis and going to an apartment. Okay, drinking beer and pretty much being the nurse, you know, to his son. You know, and that's the type of man, okay, that Esau, all right, breeds in this society, man. Okay, men that are not serious about anything, everything's a joke. Okay, and it's like he was more in tune with, you know, the wifely duties than running his kingdom. Okay, so this is what the energy of America has pushed in the earth, and much worse, you know, because Esau, he had different variations of men, you know, whether you just alphabet out or you just a degenerate, you know, nigga, or you know, you one of those, you know, passive, okay, playful, all the goddamn time husbands, okay, that you know, you pretty much the beta, and the woman's the alpha. Because another thing, you had, you know, his wife and his mother, you know, fighting battles and all, you know, Esau push, you know, the psychology, okay, but as the Lord is dealing with His sons, remember, because we came up in this culture, man, and there's a lot of things that the Lord has to break up in us, man. Okay, like that, the way we look at ourselves, man. You know, we came up not taking ourselves serious, having low self-image. Okay, so the Lord will take us through suffering to change the perspective of ourselves, man. Okay, He put us in positions to where we got to achieve particular things to get out that situation, and that achievement breeds confidence, man. Okay, He'll put us in a position to where we just have all this responsibility, and that responsibility breeds a serious character, man. Okay, and then, you know, as the scriptures say, because like I say, even with everything is a balance, you know, because I like to joke, I like to I like to jest, you know, but then there's also a point, okay, where it's a point of serious, man. Okay, it's a point of seriousness. You see, but you go here to I get this. You go here. This is Sirach 21 and 20. It says, a fool lifted up his voice with laughter, but a wise man, though scarce, smile a little. Yeah, man. So there's gonna be certain points, because like the Lord, all right, hey, he'll send, you know, your mind through a vexation, man. Like the way he's dealing with his men, because we have to get back, okay, into that ancient world spirit, man, seeking the old paths, you know. And as growing up in the West, you know, we was brought up in the exact opposite of what the Lord requires us, man. How the Lord requires us to be. You know, like I said, the way we thought of ourselves, the way we thought of women, the way we thought of family, okay, the way we, you know, was pretty much slaves to lust and pleasure. All that has to be broken up. And the Lord breaks that up, all right, and through sufferings, man. That's why the name of the lesson is healthy sufferings, man. Okay, and men and women, all right, of the faith, guess what? You're gonna go through suffering. Even, you know, you sisters that has a brother that's in the truth, that's in the camp, okay, you're gonna have to suffer that. You don't have the 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 uh the American perfect marriage. Okay? That's not gonna be the scenario all the time. He's not your husband not gonna be available. All right, your husband not gonna feel like talking and you know, some days, man. Okay? Like your husband has a great responsibility, man. Okay? And there's some times that, you know, the Lord, all right, will just be sending these vexations and, you know, has our mind in the refinery, man. Okay? And you can't take those things personal, man. You know, that's part of your suffering. Okay? And the women that don't have husbands, you know, you need some time to work on yourself. All right? Because America teaches the women to just jump in and out of relationships. You know, you broke up with this guy because, you know, he was too dirty when he got off work, or, you know, he jumped in the relationship with this guy, and then jump out, you know, for the most, you know, for the most minute things, man. So, hey, the Lord has it to where, hey, you need to sit your ass down somewhere, man. Okay, get yourself together. All right, start making adjustments, man. Because one thing about it, well, you how about Shemal Shai, you know, whenever you want something, you know, you desire something, you know, well, we have to do what's required. We have to do the work, okay? And a lot of those things, one thing I learned, and the Lord started moving, you know, in my situation, you know, just speaking personally, is that I had to start making a lot of self-adjustments, man. I had to start being honest with the flaws and things that I had and really start to practice on those things, man. You know? And that's when I started to see the Lord really start making moves, man. But for the longest, you know, you go through that phase of playing victim and, you know, trying to be hard-headed and still, you know, not really self-examining, you know? You go through that phase and it seems like it's stagnant, okay? But remember, the in every situation that we in, no matter how wrong we think we've been done, no matter how unfair the situation is, the Lord always has the microscope on our conduct and our reaction to these situations, man. You know, just to put that out there. So our reaction within the suffering plays a major part in how the Lord starts to intervene and deal, you know? So that's the point. Just wanted to bring that out. You know, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified, man. You know, hey, there's a healthy suffering, you know, that's required in this faith, man. You know? So till next time I say Shalom, Kwame Mashallah, a Bible, DTA soon, Shalom.